Hello there, my name is Logan, but you can call me Copycat99, and today I'm back with some more deck techs. I'm finally got some physical Legends of the Force cards in my hands, and ready to go over some decks that I've been playing. This is not Hantu Data Vault. I played Hantu Green Force at Galactics. I did not do particularly well, unfortunately, so I didn't feel like... I'll show off my list in the tournament report video, which I should be putting out soon. But I've been playing Mother Talzin Red ever since my poor performance at the Galactics. It definitely soured me on that deck in particular. So I'm playing something else. Plus everyone's on Tarkin Town, so Hantu sucks right now. But this is Mother Talzin Red. I did a early live deck build on this early on the channel if you want to go look at that and compare, see how wrong I was about some certain stuff. But this list feels a lot more refined. I've been playing it a lot, and the list from that Enigma played in the tournament, and I believe they won the whole tournament on Mother Talzin Red, was a really good starting point to help refine for my own build, so that was really neat. A lot of the concepts that they figured out in that list I think are pretty core to how Talzin should be built, which is really sweet. So with that all the way, let's get into it. Obviously, we're playing Mother Talzin on a red 20 HP Force Space because Force Stone and Force Lightning are ridiculous Force payoff cards. So to start, I've got 2 Owen Lars. This is like the biggest flex slot in the deck. I'm on a Krennic package. Director Krennic is actually really, really good in this list. I'll go over it a bit more in detail when I actually get to the Krennic card. But, so this is the flex slot. I'm currently on 2 Owen Lars because you can lead Krennic and then play Owen Lars for free, which is pretty sick. He's nice curve filler. He only costs 1. I really like 4+1 on the flip turn. There's Assassin, Tyrannus, and Arm to the Teeth from the row as really good 4 resource plays. So being able to have a 1 to curve fill is nice. And he's a 1 you can hold to make their Force Throw deal 1 damage, which is nice. So I've been liking him a lot. I wouldn't blame you if you'll play Night Sister Warrior instead. That's what the Galactics list was on, to have a bit more options on turn 1 or turn 2 with if you're drawing into the Krennic portion of the deck. But I've been liking Owen Lars. He's especially good against aggro, like especially space aggro. Space aggro hates it when you lead Krennic Owen Lars. Like, I didn't sacrifice anything to get a Restore 2 body. And then even if they remove him, you get to draw a Tyrannus, you get to draw an Assassin. So he's like, he just feels pretty good overall in the list. He's something that I've been messing around with and I've been enjoying. Next up, we have got 3 Secretive Sage. Turns out Crafty Smuggler as a Force unit is very good. Yeah, not much more to say there. You need a density of Force units to gain the Force to trigger all your effects, especially Talzin. And it's a well-statted Force unit. I really like leading in, slapping a Fallen Lightsaber on it and being like, if you don't have Power of the Dark Side or Waylay, get wrecked. Like, it's just a must-answer threat. And again, like, baseline is just a really well-statted Force unit. So it's in the list. 3 Acolyte of the Beyond. This is like one of the weaker Force units in the list because it isn't actually Force traded, which does annoyingly come up. I've had some games recently where I've drawn like 2 Force throws and my early units are Krennic and Acolyte of the Beyond, and I'm like, dude, come on. Why this thing not actually being a real Force unit is really cringe sometimes. But he is just like, his stats aren't even that great, but he guarantees you the Force. Even if they're trying to like Tarkin Town your turn 1 play, is when defeated gives you the Force. So that's nice sometimes. Like, sometimes control decks try and claim and power to cut you off the Force early, and the Acolyte guarantees you get it, but he's just a 2/3 dude that's like a fake Force unit because he gains the Force on attack. He's like fine, he's whatever. The options, there's not a lot of competition. Like, this list, it ends up on Krennic because the options for actually good turn 1 Force units are not deep. There's not a lot of good ones. So he just, like, he barely makes the cut. Let's move this over. Then we've got 3 Karis. Karis is, like, the prime example of a good Force 2-drop. 2 cost 2/4 is... I like it more than 2 cost 3/3. Like, it's just such a great stat line. They're pretty guaranteed to stick outside of a very few sparse interactions and get into turn 2, get the Force. Curious is awesome too. This one defeated ability lets her trade up into most 3s, sometimes 4s. Like, being able to trade Karis with their Talzin's Assassin, like, that just, like, this -2, -2 effect, it can hit space. Like, it's just so very, very powerful to have that text on a 2-drop. And we're running with 4 space anyway, so we get that text for free. Like, this card is so good that the Kylo 5 Tarkin Towns at Galactics, we're running it just to be a 2-cost 2/4 force body. And they don't even get the when defeated text. And, again, when defeated is pretty important, which I'll go over in a second, because here is Director Krennic. 3 Director Krennic. It's a little bit off screen. There we go. Director Krennic solves one of the biggest problems with this deck that I found in testing it earlier, especially in the set, was that the 3 resource plays just suck. They suck so much. Like, Jedi in Hiding is not particularly good. Like, sometimes, if you're on a slower matchup, the discard's nice. Marin is like really meh on average. Sometimes she's really exceptional. Like, if you play against a Vader 4 or whatever, Marin can pick off their guys, and you don't care too much if you discard. Arm to the Teeth coming in the list makes me a lot happier on Marin, because I'm not too worried about the self-discard. But, like, and then GI is, like, a pseudo 3-cost 4/4 hidden. Like, that's fine, but it's just, they're not exciting plays. They're not plays that really a tier 1 meta deck. Like, Gira is ramping and then threatening to flip and barrage. Kylo is just removing everything you play. Quinlan is playing a Falcon and Ping Tarkin Town or whatever. Like, all these plays that are just, like, really exciting, really powerful this early in the game. And Talzin just doesn't get any of those. And then Krennic comes to the list. And Krennic allows you to play Acolyte of the Beyond or Caris on turn 2 for 1 resource. And then you have 2 resources left. And you can play a Secretive Sage or an Acolyte of the Beyond or a Caris. So it just turns your turn 2 into a really robust turn, a really unpredictable turn that lets you do much more interesting things on the levels of these other tier 1 decks, that allows the deck to really reach that level where it feels tier 1. It feels like it can keep up with these top dogs. And there's so many when defeateds in this deck. I think it might be like 15. Like, it's really crazy, the amount of value you can get off of them. Another one is turn 2 Jedi in Hiding and a Force Throw. Like, I play this hidden 2-cost 3/3 because Krennic's in play. Like, this Krennic turns Jedi in Hiding into a Battlefield Marine that also will make your opponent discard and is hidden, so you can guarantee to get that Force Throw off immediately after it. Like, he just does so much for the deck. And even if he's not doing anything fancy, even if you're still playing Marin turn 2, Tyrannus turn 3, Smuggling Arm to the Teeth and Blank Force Throw turn 4, like, he's just a 2/2 shielded. Like, 2/2 shielded is such a great stat line, baseline. Like, the floor is so high already, and he adds so much ceiling to the deck. He is such an amazing include. And he really is the thing that cracks the deck, that makes the deck feel real, in my opinion. Then we got 3 Jedi in Hiding. I think if you're not on the Krennic package, this card isn't worth it, honestly. It's just really meh. 3-cost 3/3 hidden is whatever. When defeated, make your opponent discard. Like, sometimes that's okay. Like, sometimes your opponent doesn't like having their cards ripped, especially if you're drawing multiple Force Throws. But, like, its stats are so mediocre that it doesn't matter. Like, K2 at least was a 4-cost 4/4. This is fortunate that it's not as weak to No Glory, but still. I would not blame you if you play 3 GI over this Grand Inquisitor unit from Legends of the Force. That's a reasonable option also. But I'm on it for the most part right now. It's a little bit more tolerable with Krennic when you can Force Throw turn 2, or you can play it plus Owen Lars turn 2. Stuff like that. I've got 3 Marin. Marin, I really like 5 health. Like, when I'm playing a Force deck, I want my units to be sticky. 2-cost 2/4, 3-cost 2/5. Essentially 3/5, because we've got Talzin letting us fudge the math a little bit. But Marin having this, like, flexible ability where she can attack into a unit and kill another unit, or punch up and hit for 4. Like, the math is really good where Marin attacks for 4, a 2 with her regular power and 2 with her on attack ability. And then Talzin can shrink the last 5th point off. So you can kill 2 cost 3 5s. You can kill 4 cost 3 5s. Like, it masks pretty well. And especially against, like, space aggro decks like Vader 4. Like, or everyone's played Vader 4. Let's say Luke 4 or Data Ball. They play, like, Green Squadron A-Wing. You can attack, pitch a card, deal 2, and then Talzin to shrink off their A-Wing. So, like, all their 2-drops are just dead to this Marin ability, which is nice. It masks really well with the Talzin ability, and it's 5 health is really sticky. I like having the option of playing something that doesn't die to Tarkin Town. Especially with all the Hantu and meta, making that like, kind of overplayed right now. But, yeah, she's been pretty good. And a really nice benefit of the Krennic package, again, is this is the only 3-cost units in the deck. 3 Jedi and hiding 3 Marin. And it feels like the right numbers. Because Krennic lets you do, like, much different things on your 3-resource turn that aren't just play a 3-cost force unit. The 4s, 3 Darth Tyrannus, and 3 Talzin's Assassin. These are really, like, pretty self-explanatory. Like, Tyrannus is just insane. Tyrannus is the thing that makes Villain Force tick, honestly. 4-cost 4/3 Shielded Ambush is just so... It feels above rate. It's, like, slightly above rate. I don't think it's, like, too far out there. But it feels so good. And, like, the math with Talzin, they play a 3-cost 3/5, you ambush Tyrannus into it, and then you Talzin ability to shrink off that 5th health. Like, it masks so good, and it lets you control the board super well. And, like, even past 4 resources. Like, on 5, you can play him in a filler. Later in the game, you can, like, play him in ambush into a Luke, and then have a weenie finish off the Luke, and you get to keep your Tyrannus. Like, he's so exceptionally good. Talzin's Assassin, it's fine. Like, you can shrink a guy. It's best at killing space units. Killing X3 or smaller space units is really nice. Being able to play a ground unit and snipe their space unit. And have a force unit to get your force back is nice. Like, sometimes you play it and you shrink their guy, and then you can get that value trade. That's, like, fine. But, yeah, she really excels at finishing off, like, damaged guys or space units, which comes up sometimes. Sometimes I just play her as a 4-cost 4/4 Force Vanilla. Like, that's not ideal, but, like, there's not too many great Force units in this game still, honestly. In Villain especially. But, she's good enough to make the cut. Yeah. I think I like her more than Chirrut. Like, Chirrut just feels... Like, this deck likes to actually kill your opponent. Chirrut is not very good offensively. He's much better defensively. And then, another interesting thing that I like in my personal list is I'm on no natural 5s. No cards that actually hard cost 5. I'm not impressed by the 5-cost Force units we have access to. Ki-Adi-Mundi is probably the one I'd play if I really wanted to make room for one. 5-cost 5/7, like... Your leader flips on 5, you can maybe turn the coordinate on and draw some cards. But it's just, like, he's just a stat stick. Like, I don't like just stat sticks. Asajj, like, if you flip your leader early, you can play Asajj and buff your leader and then attack. And it's, like, okay. But then Asajj is a 5/6. Not having 6 power on the Asajj is really unfortunate. Like, now they eat your Asajj with their Poe, and their Poe lives, and you still have to kill their Poe. I mean, in that scenario, Talzin just finishes off the Poe, but, like, it's really awkward. Like, I don't like either of those options that much. Old Daka's the other one, and Old Daka it does not line up. Like, Old Daka's really sick on paper. I play Talzin's Assassin on 4 resources, I shrink their guy. Next turn I attack, regain the Force, and I play Daka and replay my Assassin and shrink their other guy. And then I attack and gain the Force and shrink with Talzin, and then flip, and then attack and shrink with Talzin. Look at that. That's crazy, right? But it just doesn't line up that way in real games. People are going to interrupt it. And if Daka doesn't have a target, she's a 5-cost 6/6 vanilla, which is not good enough. So yeah, I hate all the 5s. So I end up usually playing 4+1 on the flip turn or 3+2. Fallen Lightsaber is my favorite flip turn. It is absolutely disgusting on Talzin. It is just, like, if they don't have Rival's Fall or Upgrade Hate, like, you just run away with the game. It is, like, it starts killing all of their 2 health ground units. It, pings all their shields. Like, I was testing Gaskar Saxon the other day, and, like, when they were leading ground, and I was just able to one attack and knock off all your ground shields, and, like, my Talzin gets to shrink a guy still and hit you for 6. Like, it's really crazy. And then, Tyrannus and Assassin are obviously some of the best cards in the deck, so being able to play those, plus a Force Throw, or Arm to the Teeth, making Talzin a 5/7, and then getting to hit with Talzin and hit with another guy with the buff is nice. Arm to the Teeth giving the deck a smuggle deck card is just really, really nice. Makes the like card advantage problem this kind of color is compared to Hero who have Kitty Money and don't have to try a little better. But so then we just continue on. 3 Ruthless Raider. Ruthless Raider was the other thing. That's what it was. Is Ruthless Raider. Some people play Anakin. I think Anakin's just meh. Ruthless Raider just. The other big problem I was having with Talzin early in testing was I was having trouble actually closing games. I needed a way to actually kill my opponent. Like, I got control of the board. Like, my Assassins were killing their stuff. My Tyrannesses were killing their stuff. But then I wasn't actually killing my opponent fast enough. And then they were playing better top end than I was. And Arm to the Teeth and Ruthless Raider and Devastator, like, is a really good package that makes it actually feel like you have the capability to close out games when you need to. But Ruthless Raider with Krennic, sometimes I do play this on 5 resources, especially if I need a space presence. Krennic makes this card so much better. This card is so messed up for 5 resources. But even for 6, just guaranteed burn. Like, sure, it's bad into no glory, but a ton of stuff's bad into no glory. You just eat it and then keep punching your opponent's face in. But it feels really great, and it gives the deck lines to actually kill your opponent, which is pretty important. I've got back end of the units here. Free the Sun. I was initially, like, when I saw this card first spawned, I was pretty low on it. I didn't think that just essentially a 7 cost 8/8 that, sure, it pumps your board. But, like, that doesn't meet the usual threshold of immediate impact that that usually is necessary for a 7-drop. But this deck makes your opponent discard cards. Like, you Force Throw and Jedi in Hiding. So it makes it a lot harder for them to actually hold an answer for the Sun. And when this card goes unanswered, it just wrecks house. So it's actually good enough. I'm like, the full 3 copies. I understand if you cut it to 2, but I've been liking 3. You know me by now. I love max consistency. I actually got the deck down to 50 because Owen feels a little bad at 3. He's right amount at 2. But other than that, I'm on all 3s. But yeah, he just... Sure, if he gets answered, it's lame. But if he doesn't get answered, he turns your board of, like, meh force units into actual threats. And, like, combined with Arm to the Teeth, it can push so much damage really quickly that your opponent is not expecting. Like, especially with Krennic in the deck, being able to just, like, go a little wide, play some cheap when defeated units, and then play a Sun and actually kill your opponent with all those units has felt pretty great. And it's not like the other 7 options are really any good. Tyrannus is bad. Ponkrell is good, but way too slow. He infects the board less than the Sun does. And then, like, Savage. If Savage's condition was on all the time, I'd probably play Savage. But Savage is just too gimmicky. Having a ready 7/7 would be pretty nice, but no, alas. Your opponent has to have more units than you do, which does not usually happen if you're doing the Talzin thing of getting those value traits and ending up ahead on board. Next is 3 Devastator. Just Ruthless Raider's bigger brother. Like, just hit him in the face for 4 when played, and then have this giant 9-power body that can just smash your opponent's face in. Got these beautiful Showdown promo Devastators here. The only unfortunate thing about this card is it dies to full power Anakin having 6 health, which is really lame, but it's still good enough. Like, just being able to present a giant space threat and also burn your opponent or pick off a couple damage guys is really good. That's all for the units. It doesn't go... I don't think it's correct with Talzin to go super late. Like, playing Palpatines and Crates and Avengers, it's, like, fine, but Blue-Green Villain does it better. So I think you have to... If you're playing specifically Red-Blue Villain, you have to think a little bit differently and try and actually kill your opponent. You have to... You want to win the mid-game and then close the game out really fast. And that's definitely what factors a lot of the deck construction going behind this particular deck. Except 3 Force Throw, it's a Force deck. You play 3 Force Throw. Like, this card is making every Force deck play red. It's oddly weak in this deck, honestly, compared to other Force decks. Like, again, I played Han 2 Green Force at Galactics, and I was self-throwing Crate to kill stuff all the time. This deck just doesn't do that. Like, when you don't have Candy Money as a card advantage engine, or some of the more value plays that Hero gives access to, like, it really hurts to self-throw you. So you throw your opponent, and people are playing cheap cards this format to play around this card because it's so omnipresent. So, like, it isn't, like, as insane as other shells as it can be in, like, Quinlan or Han 2, but it's still good enough. It's still a ridiculously powerful card for 1 resource. And ripping your opponent's cards, like sometimes you draw the double Jedi in hiding, double Force Throw hand where your opponent just has no hand the whole game, which is pretty gross. But it's like fine. I honestly think a Force Throw ban, which may or may not happen, I'm pretty impartial to it at this point. I'm like, whatever, it's just a point of the game. If they want to wait till the end of the set or not ban it at all and print some more powerful cards that aren't Force straight next set to make it more diverse, I'm fine with that too. But if it did get, in a theoretical world where it did get banned, I'd just play 3 Sorcerer's Blast and still play the deck. It's not like it's a make or break it card for the archetype. Next up is 3 Force Lightning. This card is so ridiculously good. It didn't have a home before this set, so I'm glad Talzin finally gives this card a home, because this card is messed up. This card is Rival's Fall and Open Fire and weird middle point removal spells all in between, with the upside of blanking the unit for some weird reason. Like, it is ridiculous. You can pay 3 for it and Open Fire something. You can pay 4 for it and deal 6 to something, which kills most leaders, especially when you can shrink the 7th with Talzin. And then, like, further up the curve, like, that sometimes people deploy, like, a 12 health Kylo, alright, lightning it, like, it gets so much done. It's such a flexible multi-purpose removal tool, and that's not even getting into the benefits of blanking the unit. You only take 1 from a crate, and you can blank it if you can't kill it. You can just blank a Sentinel for 1 resource and get lethal. You can kill Lurking TIE Phantom with this card. You can kill Chewbacca with this card. You can kill... what was I thinking? You can kill... Oh, that's what it was. You can kill Super Laser Attack and cut off their ramp. Ethkoth cut off their ramp. Like, it is an insanely flexible card. It does so much for 3 deck slots. Like, it is... This is more of a make or break it card than Force Throw in the Villain Force archetype. Like, it just defines what the deck can do and what you have to play around when playing against it. 3 Power of the Dark Side. This card has been a blue villain staple since the dawn of time. Like, it's just really efficient for your opponent to be on 1 dude on board and be like, pay 3 resources, that guy's dead. Like, it's just, it's a really nice catch-all, and it's cheap enough that a deck like this is willing to play it. That's all the events in the deck. And we've got upgrades, 3 Arm to the Teeth, and 3 Fallen Lightsaber. Arm to the Teeth, I cannot sing this card's praises enough. It is... that the floor is just so low. You just draw it and auto-resource it. Like, I played this card from hand once in, like, the last recent couple days of testing. Like, it's not really worth it. There are better plays to play from hand. But from row, like, just having a smuggle card, so if your hand's getting hated, or you're like, I played Krennic, and then I played 2 dudes on turn 2, and then maybe I played 2 dudes on turn 3. Like, I'm really running out of cards in hand by the time I deploy. All right, flip, smuggle the Arm to the Teeth, conserve a card in hand, still keep the pressure up. Like, it is really good. And being essentially +4/+0 if you go wide, this deck ends up with a decent number of units in play, usually, because you're the negative is making it where you can kill your opponent's units and keep your units alive. So usually you end up with a unit advantage, and being able to convert that unit advantage into enough burst damage to kill your opponent is really nice. And Armed to the Teeth enables that very well. And then 3 Fallen Lightsaber. This card is just very good. It's not quite Jedi Lightsaber level. Jedi Lightsaber is ridiculous. General's Blade is also ridiculous, but it's really close. It's a lot scarier in a list with Tarkin Town. Like, this card, outside of the Kylo 5 Tarkin Town, like, they slap this on their Secret of Sage turn 2, and you feel really sad. But in this deck also jams it on Secret of Sage all the time. Being able to put it on your leader and make her a 6/10 that cleaves their ward for 1 and still shrinks a guy, like, it's so good. It makes the leader like a ridiculous threat, and that's enough reason to play at least 2 copies. The Galactics list was on a 2/2/2 of Hotshot Blaster, Armed to the Teeth, Fallen Lightsaber. If you like that combination, you can definitely play it. I haven't tested that personally myself. I really like Armed to the Teeth, so I'm liking the full 3. Hotshot Blaster smuggles for 1 more because it's out of aspect. And sure, you get an immediate attack, but it's still only +2/+0. So it feels a little bit worse. I mean, if it's much better if you're getting exact lethal off of it. Or you need 1 more point to cross the finish line or whatever. Which does come up, like, occasionally. If you're finding that comes up, you can definitely play it. But the main reason is I've got Hotshot Blasters in a guard deck currently. So I've just been rocking the full 3/3. And like I said, I think I like it more. I think I like the max consistency of knowing I'll see these by the flip turn to have options to suit Talzin up, which I think is a very strong plan in this deck. 7 health on a 5 deploy leader is just so gross. It makes them so sticky. Suiting them up with upgrades is a really gross thing you can do. All right, that's all for the list. Sure. Let's do it. I haven't seen much goldfishing on it, so I thought let's goldfish like 3 hands. Let's say Keeper Mole and like go through the first 3 turns of the game to see kind of how I would approach the deck. This obviously isn't comprehensive. It's hard without knowing what your opponent is. You kind of have to adjust your opponent. I'll try and talk through it a little bit, but it's impossible. I can't go over every matchup, definitely in this shorter form on it, but I already spent 20-30 minutes talking about the deck. I don't want it to drag on too long. People won't watch too much, but I do think it is interesting to go through that thought process, and hopefully it is informative for you, and you can use it to better your play, especially if you're looking to pick up Talzin, who I think is a very, very solid meta leader right now. All right, that's enough shuffling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Harry's Force Lightning, Tyrannus, Secret of Sage, Armed to the Teeth. So I would definitely keep this in the blind. I would resource the Armed to the Teeth and the Darth Tyrannus. Armed to the Teeth, obviously, because it's Smuggle, and Darth Tyrannus because we have 2, and we don't generally need 2, because Tyrannus doesn't die very often, because that's shielded. So then, if our opponent is a ping matchup, we'd leave the Sage. Otherwise, I think I like leading Karis here. Let's say it's a non-ping matchup. So we lead the Karis, and then we claim initiative, and we go into the next round. We draw an Acolyte and a Force Lightning. I think I'd resource the Acolyte with no Krennic in sight. And we'd untap. We probably attack and gain the Force. And then we try and Force Lightning their turn 2 play, probably. If they're not doing anything worth Force Lightning, then we play the Sage. Unfortunately, don't have a 1 to fill with it. No Owen or Force Throw. So let's say we Force Lightning. Then we go to the next turn, Armed to the Teeth and Fallen Saber. The Armed to the Teeth goes down. We almost certainly play Tyrannus and kill one of their dudes. Continue to hit them with this Karis. This Karis might have died by now. It's kind of likely. But, and then we go to the next round. Draw a Marin and a Jedi in hiding. I think I'd rather Jedi in hiding, probably. Again, not seeing a Krennic is changing some of these lines. And I'd lean towards Fallen Lightsaber plus Secret of Sage here, I think, for the flip turn. And hopefully that puts us far enough ahead. We've either got enough board control or enough damage pushed in our opponent that we can start playing these Arm to the Teeth from row and closing the game out. That we're probably in a pretty good position. He obviously drew another Force Lightning to hold for their leader flip, which is amazing. And so yeah, that was a pretty good draw. That's like an average good draw in this deck. Those are the kind of draws you play the deck for. Like you had to, see, it's really tough to represent in Goldfishing. Like I think I played the best generic plays there, but like you have Arm to the Teeth in the row that you can smuggle. You've got like that second Force Lightning if it's better to keep removing stuff, which is a possibility if like they play Cheered or something. Like it's hard to know for sure without actually having a game in front of you. Alright, let's get into the second hand. Marin, Force Lightning, Jedi in Hiding, Ruthless Raider, Fallen Saber, and Force Throw. That is a mulligan. Don't like just force throwing our opponent on turn 1 with no force unit. That's unfortunate. 12 into Owen as emergency turn 1s. There's plenty in the deck. You can go more than that if it's specifically Night Sister Warrior. You can play that over the Owens to get you to 14 because Krennic enables that to be pretty good on turn 2 with another 2. But other than that, it's too much low end. This deck has to have the slots for the upper end, the Raiders, the Suns, and the Devastators. I hate trimming on Raiders and Devastators too because it feels really important for closing out like these blue-green. Like I was playing Iden Data Vault. that is certainly a deck that people are playing right now. You know, some very deep hard control players that it's probably the best build of hard control right now. I don't think Bosk is much better in the current meta. But it just kill your guy, kill your guy, kill your guy. Like having some burn attached to bodies and having enough to actually get over the hump and finish them off is pretty important. Get back in there, Owen Lars. Stop trying to run away. Make sure to let me know if you guys are actually interested in this goldfishing, because it is going to add some length to the videos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I would definitely keep. This is on them all. So we resource the Devastator, I think, in a second Carries, and then we lead Carries. Then we go to the next round. Tyrannus and Assassin. I think I want to keep the Krennic to go with Lightsaber on the flip turn. Row the Fallen Lightsaber. Keep her 4 resource plays open. No, maybe not. We're jamming Lightsaber on the Carries. That's our only 3 resource play. I'd probably resource the Assassin then. We jam Saber on the Carries, assuming it lived. If it didn't live, it's big sad. We end up skipping 3 resources here. If it does live, we're probably in pretty good shape. It might get waylaid, it might get powered. They might Fang Fighter, but let's assume they don't have any of those. Then we get to attack for 1 billion. And the next turn we draw a power and a Secretive Sage. Do I value Force Straight more than Krennic effect? Anything bigger than Raider doesn't have a when defeated. So I think I value Force Straight more that we're going away from this Krennic. See if I can get a hand where Krennic matters. I have had games where you just draw the nuts and Krennic just like shoots your hand out. So we probably hit him, and then we almost certainly play Tyrannus. And then we go to the next turn. We draw an Arm to the Teeth and a Jedi in hiding. Now this is where it gets a little interesting. Holding the Arm to the Teeth in hand means in certain matchups we could double suit up the Talzin leader and make her 8 power with the Arm to the Teeth effect, which is pretty scary. Like, if we've already got a large damage lead with the carries with the Saber, that might be a consideration. If that's not good in the matchup, say we're playing against a rival swell matchup and going all in on that, I like resourcing the Arm to the Teeth. And then, like, you have a ton of options with this draw. I almost always love Fallen Saber on the leader. But if we need to control the board more, being able to, like, kill a guy with carries, kill a guy with Tyrannus, kill a guy with Talzin, and then power another guy instead of playing the Fallen Saber, and then you get Sage still with it. Seems good. If neither of these plays are good, like maybe we flip straight into a no good to me dead, then being able to play the Jedi in hiding and the Seeker to Sage and develop our board a lot and set up for a good Arm to the Teeth next turn is something that could be good. So yeah, I don't know. This hand would do all sorts of things, really depending on the board state your opponent lies. We drew like all the options. See if we can find a Krennic hand. 4, 5, 6. So it'd be a great hand if it had Krennic in it. We'd have the turn 1 Owen Lars and the turn 2 Jedi in hiding, and maybe we'd find a Force Throw or something. I keep it. Row the Devastator. That's way later than we care about, and then row the Jedi in hiding probably. Because I think Marin is a stronger card in the vacuum. We lead carries. Draw another Marin and a Sun. So the Marin gets rowed. We play the Marin. We hit them. And then we go to the next round. Wow, we're just going to, like, shoot out our hand here. Let's row the Sun. See, this is the kind of draw that makes you wish you drew Arm to the Teeth to have that option, which we don't currently. So we hit them with the stuff on board. Like, if we have to use the Marin effect, I think we sacrifice the Owen. I want to hold on to the Raider. But if we don't have to use the Marin effect, we're on the board state where we need it. We play Secret of Sage, we play Owen, and we Force Throw our opponent. And we just have, like, 4 dudes out of nowhere. Like, this is the kind of draw where, like, sometimes you just, like, shoot your hand out, and you really need that Arm to the Teeth to recover it, which we don't have currently. Maybe we'll draw into one. Like, this is our board state on 4 resources, assuming our opponent hasn't killed anything. Which, they definitely will kill something in some matchups. But then we go to the next round. Draw into a Tyrannus and a Force Lightning. With this board, I think we're foregoing being the control unless it's like a Sentinel leader or something that we really need to keep the Force Lightning for. I think we just opt for the Tyrannus and continue developing our board. We turn these dudes sideways, play a Tyrannus, and then we add Talus into the mix, and we just have a really strong board state. And hopefully that's enough to get there. Yeah, I really wish, like, villain smuggle options are just not in a great spot. Like, Arm to the Teeth is good enough. It feels particularly good in this deck, but, like, Long Pike isn't good enough to slot into this deck, and there's, like, no other good options, unfortunately. Hopefully Villainy gets some good plot cards next set to offset its bad smuggle luck. It should. Plotting is definitely a much more villainous thing. The villains definitely plot and scheme a lot more than the heroes. So, especially with that new Chancellor leader. Legit just being all about plotting and scheming. Come on, deck. Give me a hand with Krennic. I don't want to make it artificially. I need a hand with Krennic and where he matters, where he's not a 2/2 shielded and you wish he was Secretive Sage. Assassin, power, Krennic, Sun, power. This is a hand with Krennic in it. Row the Sun, row the duplicate Krennic probably. Lead Krennic. Oh, here we go. I drew into it. Alright, row of power. We play Jedi in Hiding with the Krennic reduction. We force throw our opponent, and then we use Krennic's shield to finish off the force throw target if it didn't die. And then we go next turn. Now you have the choice of, like, surely they're going to try and kill the Krennic, so this is probably offline. But if they don't go to kill the Krennic, you can play Acolyte for 1 and Power of the Dark Side on 4. We're kind of low in hand size already. So I'd probably lean towards Assassin. We get to attack, gain the Force, play Assassin, maybe finish it off with Krennic, and then you can play like Force Surf plus Lightning and wipe their board on their flip turn, or you can play Power plus Sage. We have to resource one of those cards, so you'd have to pick which line, but we don't have an Arm to the Teeth, do we? No. But see, that is the kind of line that Krennic enables. Like, turning this into a Battlefield Marine and giving you that Force Throw angle seems really good. I think you get the general gist of the early turns, and later turns is generally just slamming Raiders, Suns, and Devastators and finishing your opponent off, or Arm to the Teeth. Like, just playing these cards that actually allow you to push enough damage to kill your opponent. So yeah, that was some gold fishing to end the deck tech video. Hope you enjoyed watching. If you like this kind of content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out, it helps grow the channel, and it makes YouTube like me more. I think that is all I've got for this video. I will see you in the next one.